Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's live SEO Q&A with Mr. Chris Palmer, SEO, and my good self. Sorry we've not been on the past 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, whatever it is. We've been at events and jet lagged and various other bits and bobs, but we are back alive and feeling good again. So thank you for your patience. But yeah, Chris, I wanted to get this kicked off straight away so that people know we're actually live and they're not like, the bastards are not not live again this week. So I'm sure that does have an impact if we've not been live for a few weeks. But if you are there, guys, let us know who's there, where you're from, and ask any questions over in the chat. We're more than happy to answer whatever the hell you've got. So throw it all at us. But before we do, check out 38 Digital Market, the sponsor of the YouTube channel, Mr. Randy Roday, and his press releases. You can see the link below, the logos above. Solid press releases for anyone who is looking to get brand exposure, links, and all of that other good stuff combined. So there you go. Sandy Rowley. Not seen you in a while, Randy, but hope you're very well. And jealous. Yeah, we've got to make the most of it. Today, up until Saturday, here in Scotland, we've got really good weather. Not quite Vegas weather, Chris, but we've got it to about 25 degrees, so it's probably about 80 or something.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. It started getting chilly here.
Hi,
in the morning. Yep, PA.
Are you PA, Asif's personal assistant?
No.
Hi, Wazim. I'm Jirit. Hello, Wazim.
Hello.
Should you? Here's the first question from Vince. Should you disavow toxic links? I'm sure your name's not Vince, but I know who you are, or I've got a good idea who you are. What's your thoughts?
So, do I think that you should just blindly take the toxicity or the toxic links inside of SEMrush and just blindly disavow them? No. But I would take that as maybe a consideration, like take a look at the links, see where they're coming from, and make a decision for yourself. It's taking care of some of that work for you. Only as of recently have I seen some benefits from cleaning up some of the dirtier links. Previously I would just let Google decide, but it's been pretty helpful on at least 2 projects so far. So yeah, make your decision for yourself. Don't blindly just add it because you don't want to kill anything that could be helping you.
Yeah. I think that's the most important thing you said there, Chris, is blindly doing it. I think, what SEMrush deem is toxic can be the position of your link, the anchor text and so on can lead to a higher toxicity score. Is using an exact match anchor. Now, I'm not saying you have to use exact match anchors or what ratios you use and all that stuff. But if you use that, does that mean a link's toxic? Absolutely not. So I think that's where you need to understand how SEMrush calculate toxicity and the other things that are involved. So don't do it. Have I seen results from doing disavows? Of course I have. I've been under attack from some of the general douchebags in our community who don't like me for one reason or another. So I've had that in the past. Not that everyone's a douchebag. 95% people are good. But yeah, you know what the people are like. There's certain people in the industry that like to harm things and play the white hat card. So I have definitely seen benefits, as have many others. But Amgirit, new SEO algorithm updated. Asif has said his site has lost 60% of his traffic on the 23rd of August. He thinks it's the core update. What should he do?
Well, right now, what I would do is weather the storm. Take it easy. I wouldn't go in there and make a bunch of changes. That's something I wouldn't do. But what I would be doing is taking a look at who's adjusting into the SERPs, who's Google rewarding, who aren't they rewarding. But most notably, what I would be doing is taking my time and just hanging tight, hang back a little bit. Don't go in there and start making changes or killing links or adding links. Like, don't start going crazy. Just take it easy. Patience. Just relax for a little bit, like a month.
That's the biggest thing I've seen, Chris, is impatience with people just doing radical changes. Oh, this is shit. I've got to take the whole page down, rewrite it, boom, boom, boom. Always let things settle and then, give it a few weeks, let things settle and then decide and try and understand and decipher what was it Google didn't like, and then go from there. But patience, as Chris says, is the key, because you see so many people doing rash things, or so-and-so said it's a fucking, I don't know, the Google don't like long-form content anymore, and you fucking, whatever, and you're shortening all your content, or, whatever. So, yeah, just be careful and be patient. Sandeep's asking about FAQ schema. What do you think?
I think if it makes sense for the page, then add it. But am I going to go out of my way to add it to every single page? Definitely not. I know they've demoted it a little bit, I believe. I think that was one of them. So if it makes sense for the page, we usually add it. It's not that difficult to add. So that's it. It's that easy.
What do you think about AI in SEO, Chris?
I think that AI in SEO is very, very helpful, depending on how it's being utilized. I see nothing but good things from it. I don't think they're after, going to take away all our jobs or something like that. Not yet. I think it's helpful as of now.
So, Wazim, I am just very quickly going to show you something. That is what I think of AI content.
There you go.
There you go. So
can't argue with that.
Pure AI. I will be releasing a video in a few days talking through what was done, how much content was placed in that website, and so on and so forth. So I will talk a bit more about it. I have always sat in the fence with pure AI content. I've always been a big fan of Quillbot, human editing, and so on and so forth. But that particular project there that I just showed is a bunch of us have tested pure AI content on a domain name that has a UR of 0.4. So nothing else but pure AI. And it's getting 15,000 visits a month currently. So, yeah, I think it's got its place in the industry. We kind of have. So I had a mastermind discussion, Chris, today in my mastermind, and I was showing this thing and some of the strange things that people look at. One of the guys in there says, Craig, I think, or he was saying, is that deliberately written in first person mode? Because normally AI writes in third person.
Yeah.
The content on that website appears as if it's in first person. Is that is that one of the wee factors there that makes the difference in terms of that stuff indexing? So there's a lot of little things we can draw from trying these things out, if you like. And as I say, I'll release more in a video in terms of my own thoughts. But sheer aggression. What was there? It's long form content. All of the articles are around about 3,000 words long, or thereabouts. And the first person side of things, is that a thing? I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but different AI tools do different things. I have tried some with failure. I've struggled to get stuff indexed, and and this particular one has worked very, very well. And trying to decipher why that one works better than some of the other ones is why we look at the first person, and how it's been written and stuff like that. So that's what I think about it. I think it can work. There are people making it work. How long will we get out of it? I don't know. But that website there has been around since March. It's now September. Can we get a good run at it? Of course we can. We've not been penalised. We've just seen constant growth. Can't answer a lot of the other questions on AI content, how long we're going to get out of it. What I will say is... months and a lot of it. The answer is fucking yes. So if you're aggressive with it and you use it properly, can you make money? The answer is yes. So that would be my final thing to say on that. But it's interesting, Chris, the way that people look at things in first person, and why is certain AI not working, and some is. So yeah, you know what it's like. You test these things and people come up with a weird thought processes. You're like, fuck, that makes sense. Like, let's all just do first person fucking content.
And then it doesn't work.
So it's interesting. But Ajit, about sitemap in Google Search Console. Few sitemaps not adding into Google Search Console. Submitted pages, all known pages, continue buffering.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. About sitemap in Google Search Console. Few sitemap not adding into Google Search Console. Submitted pages / all known pages. I'm not sure exactly what the question is. However, I always think that a sitemap is a good idea. I'm not sure what the question is, though. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
Ajit, if you can rephrase that or give us the full question, we will come back to it, please. And anyone else out there who has got questions, please put them in the chat and we'll work our way through and get to them. Maeve, hey. Not seen Maeve in a few weeks because we've not been on. But, good to see you, Maeve. That rhymes with Dave. David Peranich. I got it right, didn't I, David? Peranich. What do you think about AI content in your money, your life niche, even if claimed author is EEAT qualified? So I'm making the assumption here, Chris, that they've got someone who has, the brands, the EAT signals and all that kind of stuff all built up. And it's in the your money, your life niche, and AI content. Is that something that can work?
I'm not in those niches. I would assume that it could work in any niche. But do I have a firsthand experience of utilizing AI content in those niches? I don't. So I'd be throwing a dart, How about you, Craig? Do you have any experience with that specifically?
I mean, to be honest, I don't. I don't go out there, making up some fake author that's EEAT qualified and trying to enter the your money, your life niches. It's not something I do on a regular basis. However, if you can tick the boxes in terms of EAT, can you use AI content in the your money, your life niche? Of course you can. But again, it comes down to the processes and the way that, which AI tool you're using and stuff. Like we just mentioned earlier, is it is it the tool you're using that's fucking it up and not necessarily the niche or the EAT? You know, if you're ticking the EAT box, forget that. You know, put that to the side. You've done that part. You know, can AI content work in any niche? I think the answer would be yes. If you're doing AI content the right way. And as I say, I've tried all sorts of different ways. I use Quillbot, I paraphrase, I get human editors. I've tried just full on AI auto publishing to WordPress, and we can get all of that to work. And you know, the EAT thing, of course it can. So I think it definitely can work. But do I do that stuff on a regular basis? No. But you know, there you go.
Oh, I need some light in this sucker, man. It's like glaring off my glasses. It's driving me crazy, man. I can't take it anymore.
Honey says hello. Chris Goldsmith also is here. Good to see you, Chris. Sandeep. I think WordPress website, it takes time to rank in Google instead of a dynamic website. What do you think? So is WordPress slowing things down, Chris, or do you think it's more things are taking longer to get indexed?
Things definitely take some time. Also, too, you know, what else are you doing? So I wouldn't just blame the CMS or the way the site is created. You know, I think there's a lot of other factors there, but Google is definitely a lot slower than once upon a time. It almost feels like 6 months ago it was faster. But there's ups and downs, though, with Google. So would I blame the CMS or, hey, it's dynamic and this is WordPress? Nah, I wouldn't blame that. It just takes forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I'm not sure I could see the difference. And I've got websites on a number of different platforms. We all suffer the same shitey, slow indexing that we're seeing across the board. Which brings us to Ajit. Indexing issue. Links are not indexing, even trying multiple link indexer. What do you suggest for faster backlink indexing, Chris?
Well, during this time right now, I feel like they're rolling out a lot of updates at this present time. So do you think that do you want to blame the indexers or the links or the pages you're building or whatever the case is? Or do you think that it's just that there's updates and they've slowed down the indexation right now? You know, because it feels like they're rolling stuff out and bringing it back, rolling stuff out, bringing it back. I don't know. I think I would just cool your jets for now, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I would agree. Ajit. Sandy, do PR pieces help with feedback panel inclusion? I know you said PCs, not prices, just in case anyone says that she said prices. So the feedback panel inclusion, I'm assuming, is your knowledge panel. Do you know what a feedback panel is, Chris?
I don't. That's what I was just double checking on right now.
I would call that, I think what you're talking about, I'm just going to check feedback inclusion.
Feedback panel, I guess the knowledge panel.
Yeah, I would call that the knowledge panel. Feedback inclusion panel, the knowledge panel, whatever we're calling it. Does PR help? Yes. But it's not just PR, Sandy. The thing that I spent a lot of time trying to trigger the knowledge panel. And I've told that story in my YouTube channel many times. You need to be on. So the first thing you need to do, Sandy, is create an About Us page or About Me page, which links to your social media and all that kind of stuff. You basically, this About page is joining the dots. Basically, Google are going to crawl that and say, this is the same Sandy Rowley who has these, that Instagram, that Facebook, that this, that, all the other stuff. You're then also going to include your press releases and anything else, again, joining the dots for Google to see those PR pieces. You're then going to be on other entities such as Crunchbase, LinkedIn, and various other places. All of that stuff combined is what helps trigger that. Being on websites like Wikidata or getting included on there is what feeds into the knowledge panel as well. Getting a Wikipedia page, which is really hard for an SEO to do, is also going to help. It's why I eventually became an actor to get an IMDb link. There's all sorts of weird and wonderful things that I've tried. One of those things, Sandy, I kept calling myself an SEO consultant or a digital marketer. Using that terminology on there means that they're going to fuck you. You're going to lose your knowledge panel. If you look at anyone who's successful, you will see that they're calling themselves an entrepreneur, an author, or something else. So again, these are all little things that I've blown up 4 or 5 knowledge panels in my journey. Spent a lot of time and a lot of money on it. So it's not just the PR. There is a lot more to it. That was a lot to say. That was a rant. That one. So he says, who is the best SEO expert in the world? Who is the best SEO expert?
Who is the best expert in the world? Hard to say. I think everybody has their piece. Some people excel in certain aspects of SEO and lack in others.
I've seen this list before, actually, and then I've seen the uproar that was caused because people go, that guy's not an SEO anymore, this is bullshit, blah 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 blah. I'm not a fan of those lists, but thank you for adding me, whoever added me, if I am indeed in there. But yeah. Jude McLean, a page is being added as a site link. Can this be related to both the home page and the internal page competing for the same keywords? I want the page to start ranking separately.
Pages being added as a site link. Can this be related to both the homepage and internal page competing for the same keyword? I want the page to start ranking separately. So a page is being added as a site link. Can it be related to both the home and the internal competing for the same keyword?
So he's also said he's got another part of the question there that I've just put up. A client is asking why they aren't ranking for brand plus service keywords. He explained that really isn't important due to the limited volume, but they want to be present for it.
All right. Yeah. Well, brand plus service keyword. Well, then why aren't you mentioning their brand name on their service-based location pages? If you just put that phrasing at least one time, maybe in an H5 or an H4 or somewhere in the page, maybe even in an accordion, just put the phrase that they want to see on their service-based location pages. So that way it'll be service, location plus brand. That way you'll have the probability of ranking for it then. I wouldn't add another page for that. Plus, to go back to your other question, it's one page, one keyword. You're optimized around that. The title, the H1 is around that keyword. So I wouldn't have 2 targeting the same keyword. That's a no-go. And then to make the client happy, just put that phrase on the page. Just put it on the pages or put it into an H tag if you want it to happen faster. And they'll be happy. And then you're happy. Even though it has no value at all. I go through this sometimes. Stuff like that. Anything to add on that, Craig?
Nah, I think it's hard to say too much more other than, without seeing it is the hard part for us. But what I would say, Jude, on top of what Chris said, if you feel it's not that important due to the limited volume, I would just push that back onto the client saying, behave. Let's focus on the good stuff. No, Chris, I have had certain instances where clients have obsessed over a particular fucking keyword, like an ego keyword. Now, you could be doing really well and making them so much money, They do not give a fuck. Their ego wants this keyword that they, I don't know, wake up in the morning and stick into the phone and check every fucking day. And sometimes you need to say to the client, calm your fucking self down. Let's focus on stuff that is important to the business, and sometimes you just need to tell them that. Would I be doing things just to humor the client? No, absolutely not. So
depends on the client.
Yeah, it depends. It depends how much they're paying. I think you've got a good argument to say that. If someone's paying you 10 G's a month and they want you to do whatever, then you just do whatever they
It's
fucking
done.
ask.
Yeah. But for your most clients, yeah, you go through this.
Yeah.
It's funny. I love that one though. That one keyword. You could be winning car, train, bus, personal injury. You can win them all. But they're like, yeah, but what about workers' comp? And you're like, I know, but 25 other ones were winning in all the biggest cities. Come on. I know, man. I go through this a lot. Just this morning, actually.
It's amazing how you talk about something you're like, that just fucking happened to me today or yesterday.
Yes, literally. I love it.
But Shubham has a question.
Like
is Web 2.0 regarded as spam? Also, what will be your go-to strategy on tiered backlinks? What will you choose as tier 2 and 3?
Is Web 2 considered spam? It depends on how you're utilizing the Web 2.0 and what position it's in. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, right? If it's a Tier 1, then it's going to be built in a sense that's going to act as a Tier 1, right? So it could go either way is what I'm getting at. And then as far as the strategy for tiered link building, again, what I want the client and Google to see first layer is going to be nothing but the creme de la creme. And then when we start moving into tiers, now primarily I'm looking at dollar PBNs and niche edits, or whatever you want to call them, cheap PBN links and niche edits. That's it.
Cool.
He moved on.
I can't talk about fucking tiered link building anymore. I'm fucking
Not enough.
Just guest posts, edits, and maybe a little bit of Web 2.0. That's it. Simple and easy.
That's it.
Anyway, Eric McDonald, analysing my clients' traffic, it appears to be going down for the main keywords that they rank for. They still rank in page 1, but is this just a case of keyword search going down over time?
Well, I run into this a lot. So you could be ranking for the primary keyword and it's looking like you're ranking very well. But what tends to happen is where the page used to rank for 320 keywords, now it's only ranking for 100, so my search volume's going down. But for the primary, I'm ranking high. So you have two options. We can either start creating supporting pieces of content in order to gain back those keywords and that traffic, or we can go back in and start adding variations and 2, 3, and 4 word phrases in order to regain that previous glory. You know what I mean? So either retune the page to gather more keywords and keyword variations, or create a new page if it makes sense. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's it. That's all I got for you.
Jesus. I've
Sandy
just
Rowland.
I need to show this, Chris. I'm going to rub your face in it for some fun. What?
I don't even know who this is. Who is she? The best? You know her. You were just talking to her this morning. And this Ajit is one of your alter ego profiles.
Look at this. Look at this.
Oh no, this is like a master list.
Best SEO expert in the world.
Is my guy on here? Web. Oh, cool. You're on the list. Hey.
I'm on the list. Where are you, Chris?
Hey, if you're there on there, baby, I'm rooting for you. Good job, Craig.
So, hey, got to flex that. Thank you, Sandy. You've given me a little ego boost. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's honestly.
Well,
I'm just disappointed I'm fucking like 18th on it or something.
third column. But hey, but I see some names. Yeah, it's an interesting list.
I've seen it. I've seen people in the past talk about this one, and people say Matt Cutts is not a fucking SEO, and so is fucking not. You can't even call that guy an SEO. Listen, if it's pulled from sources all over the web, I think a lot of these people deserve their place on it. But you could argue that some of them don't do SEO anymore, and so on and so forth. But there's Bill Slowaski on there who isn't even alive. There's but again deserves his name up there. But you could have all sorts of arguments back and forth on there as to who's the best, who makes the most money. That would be an interesting one. But Chris is joining from the Philippines. Good to see you, Chris.
Cool.
Eric McDonald says, looking at Hotjar recordings on that client's website he spoke about, they get traffic, but very little in terms of customers clicking on contact us buttons, call now, etc. Is this a case of content changes required? So obviously, Chris, you get good rankings. This is and all that kind of stuff. Should we, not just for Eric, but be adding more to articles that are maybe slipping down? Can we go in and retune these, fine-tune them, or whatever you want to call it?
1,000%. That's like in the scope of work every depending on the client, every 3 to 6 months, a page refresh or an update, whatever. Definitely, because you can watch and see. It's usually 2, 3, and 4 word variations that you want to go in there and tune, or maybe even add. Yeah, definitely. I think you should be. Why waste it? Especially if it's ranking. It's like squeezing more juice out of the orange, It's already there. Yeah, it's free money. It's easy. So much easier. My favorite job. Actually, it's like I already got a winner. We're just going to go and squeeze a little bit more juice out of it.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Ring it till it's fucking dead.
Absolutely.
But Ajit, my site was set up for USA, but Indian people are coming. I'm also from India. How to get USA people traffic, even though the content all belongs to the USA. So where is it hosted? Backlink profile, all of that kind of stuff. I have no clue, but best classifieds USA. I'll have a look. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Where is it hosted? What are the main links? And when you set it up, like, did you switch it? Like, Google's, they're not dumb. I mean, they're Google.
I am going
That's
to check.
classified USA.
The first thing I always do is check the hosting. So you've got it on Cloudflare, so that kind of throws me. You're using Cloudflare, so I can only see that. But I would be looking at the hosting backlink profile.
But the Cloudflare is a reverse proxy. So depending on where the initial host is, still going to give it up. And could Google see that? I don't know. What do you think?
But I think you have to look at all of that. If you want to rank in the US, I would be hosting it in the US backlink profile, and all that kind of stuff. So if you're ranking in India, when you're getting Indian traffic, it happens to us all. But primarily you want to show Google that your main focus is the US. So make sure those signals are all consistent with the US audience. Faceless SEO guy. A client of mine was ranking in top 3 positions for almost all of the main targeted keywords, but the recent core update hit them hard and they're now in second page. What can we recommend? We've had this a couple of times, Faceless SEO guy. Patience, let things settle down and then try and decipher what the problem was, if you do have a problem. And then fine tune from there. Too many people make too many rash decisions too quickly when updates are rolled out. So we'd recommend patience at this point.
Yep. And then make your assessment. Give it 45 days from when you saw that drop, and then make your assessment after that. I know it's going to be hard.
Chris? So I'm just playing devil's advocate here. What would you say if the guy says, I've not got fucking 45 days, the guy's about to kick my ass out the door?
I would, honesty, be upfront, be transparent, show the differences, show the updates. It is what it is. We can either make a bunch of decisions now and we could potentially go up, but we could also harm ourselves for the future. And if it's a long play, it's a long play. Like, are you in it for today or forever? You know, like, it is what it is. Like, we can go in there and make changes and maybe we'll catch, but then when stuff readjusts after the update, it might kick us back around again. Then you'll have to pay me again. I would just give your best recommendation and be transparent. That's always the best. Get them on the phone, call them up, tell them this is what it is. But it's up to you.
Am I really doing a webinar from the boat? Unfortunately, yes. I don't like to sit here, but it's 25 degrees, which is a lot for Scotland. So me and Mark McShane, who's behind me, sunbathing.
Oh, yeah, he's got it rough. Oh, yeah. You guys got it tough. He said, I don't like to do it from here. Yeah, okay, Craig. Look at that.
The view.
Why wouldn't you want to do a live stream from there?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
we were actually out on the water and then decided that, so when you're in the marina, which we are just now, you can plug the power into the boat and you can use all the plugs. When you're out in the water, you can't charge shit. So we had to come back for some power. Is why we're sitting here. But yeah, otherwise you'd have been getting it from the actual front of the boat out in the water.
Yes.
Got to make the most of the weather. It's a long
winter.
Yeah. I don't want. We're going to be here fucking November nights and all that shit.
Oh,
like,
I'm going to Florida, man. I'm trying to beg Kelly, please, let's go. I'm telling Andy, like, dude, you got any houses available where it's not freaking freezing, dude?
Yeah. Maeve is asking how the conference went, Chris. How do you, in your words, say it went?
I learned a lot. There was a lot of lessons. I guess from an SEO standpoint, from an attendee perspective, it went great. Food was good. The speakers were great. There was good interaction. I thought it went off very well. Did you hear any bad news? I thought I got nothing but good feedback.
No, I never had any negative feedback. So as far as I'm concerned, it was all complimentary. And given it was a first event, I think people have said to me we smashed it out the park. So yeah, all good positive stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, can't really say anything other than that. It was good, and it was great to meet some people in person. You know, Dre, Paul from the SEO show, as some of you guys might know him. You know, meeting him in person I've been on his podcast twice, I think, and meeting him in person, and I met a few bunch of others, Darren Muzzy in person, and Aaron Semenoff. These guys are in my mastermind, and met some new people there out there as well. So yeah, it's all very, very good. Even, you know, from aside from the conference, you know, meeting those guys that are in my mastermind and a few new faces and stuff. So all good positive feedback here. Other than the only criticism I could ever really have is the heat in Vegas. It was 43. It was fucking insane. But that's a good complaint to have as well. So it was very warm, is all I would say. But other than that, very, very good. Big Harks, do you have any general e-commerce SEO tips, such as product page copy or other powerful techniques for e-commerce SEO?
I'm not your guy. I personally do not.
So, I mean, you could argue, I mean, SEO is SEO, right? You know, your product pages are going to go after stuff specifically. Your category is going to go after a different set of keywords. You've got blog posts. All of the content's important. Which one of those do you go after? Whether that be, you know, the product page copy. You know, of course it's important. And does that copy actually convert into sales on an e-commerce website? The answer is yes. You know, again, on my mastermind today, someone asked the question, you know, is when you're selling on e-commerce stores, you know, when you do Amazon affiliate, you're giving, you know, product review and so on and so forth. But when you're, you know, e-com, it's the user and your product. So is the product page copy important? Of course it fucking is. You know, that has to be persuasive, informative, and all that kind of stuff. So I think there is a certain element to that you know, is a little bit specialist. So so for sure, you know, but can you afford to go to that level of detail in all of the fucking products on your website? Probably not. So go after the best performing products first. Would be the ones that get the traffic, the ones that are making the money. Would be the ones that I would focus on first and foremost. But, you know, there's a lot of limitations with e-commerce platforms. You know, people use Shopify, you can't increase the speed. So, you know, you have to heavily emphasize, you know, links and content, but that's the same as any other SEO. So no specialist e-commerce tips as such. You know, like cannibalization, understanding technical SEO. You know, you've got products that have product variations, which all create URLs. You know, clean all of that shit up. I think, you know, a big audit is you know, and more technical is required in a lot of e-com stores as well, depending on the size of it. So there are a couple of things I'd be looking at. But you could argue all back and forth all day on what the first thing is. So there you go. And Sandy says she's there with me. LOL, you wish. Shubham Goyal, thanks for answering my previous question. Follow-up question. If I'm using Web 2.0 as tier 1, does it have to look like a genuine website with regular content posting? I'm going to say I don't use Web 2.0s. It's a tier 1, full stop, end of argument. But if you had to, Chris, would it have to look like a genuine website with regular content?
I think that depends on who you ask, but I think if it's going to be a deliverable, yes, you know, if this is a deliverable and there's a probability of somebody going to look like your client, then yeah, I need it to look authentic, right? I need it to look good. I need to look chargeable as a billable expense. However, if we're just looking for building up equity and we're just doing SEO, who cares? Unless you care for yourself and you have a standard of work. But a link is a link. You know, a Web 2 is a Web 2. Does it really matter? No, it doesn't matter. Google can't read, so you'll be fine. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But I've got to, Sandy Rowley, I'm not sure I want to collab with you. Why am I not in your LinkedIn posts? I should be slotted in there in position 11. Sandy has a blog post out there talking about the best SEO in the world, and you've not even got me in there, Sandy. I'm disappointed. After all that, you got me feeling good about myself, and now I feel bad. But I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding, by the way. But AI generated blog article will rank if I followed all the rules of SEO. Sandeep, the answer
Well,
is yes.
who owns Scorpion?
Don't know.
That's the king.
Scorpion's the king.
Whoever runs that, they're the king. Yes. That's the best SEO right there. That guy, whoever that is, or woman or team. Right? I'm trying to think. Right? Is there anyone bigger?
I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Yeah. There's probably some dark horse somewhere in some niche.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Crushing it, but yeah. It's a hard one. But Sandeep, yes, that is the answer to this. As I demonstrated earlier in the call, yeah, that can work very well. Ajit is hosted in the US server. So that's the guy that's getting some of that Indian traffic. Yeah, you just need to try and work in the backlink profile and everything else, dude, on that website. And I don't know, did someone shout something there? I thought I heard something, but so yeah, I need to look at the other stuff. Shubham, what are your checkpoints when selecting a website for guest posting?
Checkpoints when selecting. So again, it's that comes down to, it starts with price point. Will then, let's just say it's creme de la creme, and I'm spending up on the higher echelons. Okay. I want to start looking at what traffic's coming into the site. How's the internal linking? What page will my link be on? What's the surrounding text? What's the title? What's the H1? What's the article about? And what other backlinks are pointing to that page and also the website? That's the list. That's it.
Really?
What's going on?
A couple of Russians shouting and bawling out there.
Oh, I heard yelling. I was like, wait, what's going on, guys?
Fucking rowdy as fuck. Biggest flex ever, says Sandy. Shubham, I usually spam competitors, blah, 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 blah. Happy to see you, Chris, says Maishi.
Good to see you.
Hope to see you next time. See you from aeroplane. Sure, Ajit. Keep the questions coming though, guys. We do have 13 minutes. Sandy says, LOL, would love to collab in an article. Top earners in SEO. The problem you get with something like that, Sandy, is whether you're going to get the truth out of people. And when you speak to SEO, a lot of SEOs, what they earn is actually 10 times less than they claim. So, yeah, everything's inflated by 10 times. And if not more. So, yeah, it would be interesting to see what people come up with, though, and how you would document that. Are you getting a Photoshop of someone's bank? Yeah, you couldn't fucking trust an SEO to fucking hand you over official documentation. You'd need to go around and look at their phone app and say, dude, how much have you got? Show me your
What do you got cooking there? Yeah.
I ain't accepting a picture as proof. No chance. Anything can be doctored.
Dude, that would be the sickest video. Line the guys up or the teams up and then go to each one and like they have to show you live and then go to the next person. All right, show me live. All right, show me live. What a sick video. That would be cool.
Yeah. Although I think you'd probably get a lot of heat for that as well. That's yeah.
Some of those companies, man.
Miad, what do you suggest for a website with a high spam score, like over 40? Is there any way to make things better?
I'm just thinking about me. I'd be like at the bottom. So here, let's see here. So spam score is relevant. I mean, this generally goes to a client where they read an article and they're like, oh, what's this? Right? Because are you looking at that? I'm not sure. But how do I make it better? Well, whatever tool is giving you the measurement of spam, going into there and analyzing to figure, like Moz is probably what you're utilizing. Go in there and figure out, well, which ones are the spammiest? And then remove those. Then your score will go down. But other than that, I'm not sure. But I wouldn't be looking at that. I've seen like Papa John's has a spam score of 16 and they rank all over for pizza. You know, Amazon's spam score is through the roof too. And I can't think of a keyword they don't rank for. So what's it matter? Doesn't matter. It's just one opinion of a tool, of an outdated tool. Anyway. I hear a lot of commotion going on out there. Is it a party out there on the boat?
Did you think so? It's just a couple of couple of guys, but the fucking voices are insane.
Man,
But-
you're in the wrong boat, Craig.
Yeah, I know. How would you identify top earners? Also, wouldn't be the best at ranking, impossible to verify. It is, Jude. And yeah, it's
How would you identify
crazy. But someone also rejected Jude for having a link because of a bad spam score in Moz. You probably dodged a bullet, is all I can say there, Jude. I'll not say anything else. Kashif has asked, Chris, you shared that 90 Days site case study in which has managed to get 2.4 million visitors using a 301 only. Is this method still working?
That's not. Well, you picked out the pieces. That's not entirely the truth, though. I mean, there was 7 sites with 30,000 pages on each one. And when the one got hit, they would just throw a 1 and go to the next. When that one got hit, they'd add more pages and go to the next. So there was a lot going on there. But what's the question? Is it still working? I've seen lots of other websites utilize this strategy. This is a what's the term? A rank and bank strategy. It's a very short-term, short-lived strategy. It's not for a business, you know. It's to get a bunch of traffic and that's it. And then they fall. It's not for long-term success. I've seen this happen lots of times, though. That was just one. Could it work? Yeah, definitely. Would you want it to? I don't know. Maybe. If that's what you're into.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
But Sandy, I will send that over later on. Not that I was angling for that, but I want to be at the top of that list now. Not on your site, but I want to manipulate that whole fucking thing, or see if I can. But I'll send that over, Sandy. Thank you. Josie's asked, "Are we going to get slides from the event? Are people sharing the slides, Chris?"
Yeah, they've. I know for a fact that they. Liz, or you would have got an email from Liz or Megan. I know for sure they sent them out to everyone that was on the list. Check your spam. It'll come from either Liz or a Megan. All right, Digital Unfiltered. And then check your spam folder and look for those 2 names, Digital Unfiltered, Liz or Megan. And then look for like conference slides, something along these lines. You should have it, Jose. Yeah.
Big hot
to that.
For WordPress site, canonical page errors, something you address or let WordPress sort out itself. So canonical page errors.
Canonical page errors. So you've created the page, you've set your main canonical, you've submitted your sitemap, you've gone in and removed the outdated content, and then just let it sort. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, especially if you're doing 301s, stuff like that, changing a lot of pages around. It'll sort itself out, but make sure your canonicals are set, resubmit your sitemap, and remove outdated content. All right?
Do any of your new sites have a DA 80 or higher?
DA. I believe that there are probably 10 or 20 that have a very, very high DA score. Yes. But DA is not the metric of choice. But that's okay.
We can work with that.
Yep.
Faceless SEO guy, as you said, that spam score is irrelevant. You're using DA. Also, is DA a good factor when choosing sites for backlinks from existing posts? As Chris just said there, it's not the one of choice, is it, Chris? DR is the one that people are using. But again, that's something that can be manipulated and all that kind of stuff. So would that be, are any of these metrics real? Or are they a surefire way of determining?
I love I like to get I like to use the barometers of all to get a concise, like if it's a DR40, then I go over to trust flow and that's a 30 plus. And then I check the AS score and that's in the high 20s. Probably have a good link.
Yeah.
You know, like if I could get a concise across the board, we're doing good. But usually it'll be a DR through the roof, the trust flow will be mid, and then the AS will be like down low. Then I'm like, I don't know about that. I've been really, really liking the AS scores lately for a gauge of a quality. I've been liking that lately. But that's me.
AS is SEMrush's authority score, guys, in case you're not sure. DR, Ahrefs.
Yep.
So the metrics of choice, like Miad is saying he trusts more authority score from SEMrush. You know, I have personally worked on authority score with SEMrush. They've asked my thoughts on how authority scores calculated and what would a change and so on and so forth. So I have actually had feedback, as have a bunch of other people, in authority score, and I think authority score is probably the most close to being realistic, and stuff like that. So yeah,
it's pretty on.
But traffic can be gained, so can a lot of other little bits and bobs. So they still can be gained if you know what you're doing. So it is what it is. Richest Domains. Good day from Arizona. Good to see you. And yes, very warm here. And it was good to meet in person at the event. Thanks for coming along. Couldn't chat much because you kind of feel as if you've got to try and talk to everyone. You know what it's like, Chris. You're like, fuck, I never really got to spend that much time with, you know, whoever.
In person, yeah.
Because you're like, you feel as if you have to be there and talk to everyone. It's a weird thing.
I tried.
But yeah, Richest Domains, it was good to see you, as it was Jose. And yeah, and many others. It was great to see them all. What are the takeaways with the new AI search? Is it in the UK yet? How does it impact an SEO's role? Not out here, or it's not coming out till December, I think, if I believe what I read. December. I don't know if it's out in America or not, but December is the so-called date. And yeah, I can't really say much just now until we see it happening. But we'll see what happens. And Richest Domain says, so great to meet. And that's what it's all about. Richest Domains is just getting to meet folk, speak to people you spoke to online, and hopefully you enjoyed what was put on. Great speakers, great food, great location, although it was a big ass place.
It was.
Yeah, it was a big hotel, but
it was fun though.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I think it was overall a success, and you know, whether we do it at the same venue or whether we do it a smaller venue, I think, like Chris says, you know, you learn certain things and stuff from the back end of the event. Yeah, I'm sure it will be back in some guise or another. Maybe not at Caesars, but you never know. You never know. Never say never.
Yeah.
But
I think we could do Caesars. Just one room though.
Yeah, we didn't need the
downstairs, not the Emperor's Ballroom, the downstairs room, the Prince's Palace, I think is what it's called. I think that's fine.
Yeah. But you never know. You never know, Chris. I think it depends on sales and stuff. You know, you may end up back in the Emperor's.
You never, hey.
Emperor's, so never say never. But Sandy has said the Google Labs AI tool is laggy as fuck. Not one that I've used, but if anyone else is, it's laggy as fuck. But
there goes that. There goes the ad revenue. There goes your 43 cents, Craig.
oh man. But on that note, guys, we are past the hour. It was good to be back, and hopefully we'll be more consistent going forward. We were all over the place in the last few weeks. Well, I certainly was. Jet lagged and traveling. So we are back now, though, every week, same time. And do check out 38 Digital Market. The link is below. Do check out Chris Palmer SEO, wherever the hell he is. He's all over the place.
All over.
So, yeah. And finally, Richest Domain says, amazing, beautiful Caesars, the food, the wonderful speakers. Hoping to find them all on YouTube. There is a lot of them kicking around if you just search their names. Some don't use YouTube, some do, depending on who you like. But they are out there. Any jet ski victims today? We'll see. I'm just going to go out and we'll see what victims we can find. But for this week, guys, see you later on.
Yep. See you in the next one.
Cheers.
Have a good one.